Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. I promised you another game by Angelina75 OLIMP. This time she's in the Bat Chat 155-55, the Tier 9 French SPG. Well, it's her last entry before the weekend, so her last chance to win the weekend lie-in. Now this Arty has a 155mm howitzer, and the other unusual thing is it's got a turret that will turn 360. Now she did damage that boat, which might give the enemy the impression that she's further back, but because she's actually moved forward and the turret's turning from this position, it means that Angelina can get shots on the enemy, and she's dialing in on the ramp leading up to the aircraft carrier. She spots an enemy tank in the distance. It's a Porsche 155, and there's Gonzalo behind him. Rounds out. Long shot. No idea if that one hit the target because the Gonzalo was moving fairly quickly. Now the standard reload is 28.76 seconds and Angelina's got 23.99. And the Gonzalo appeared, well, he's missing hit points now. I think she did get something off him, but she's certainly got some hit points there off a G-Saw, one of the new G-Saw tanks. Of course, the G-Saw tank is a version of the G-Saw 1008, which has been out for some time. That's an auto-loading tank destroyer. Does have very little armor, but it does have a 120mm gun with a very fast fire rate, which means it's got great potential. Rounds out. Just a fraction too late. Notice how Angelina's moving backwards and forwards to fool the enemy Arty into shooting at the wrong position. And now she's got some lovely targets here. The turret turns, the rescue dials in. She's got a T-77 and a Centurion 5-1. And if she hits one, she might hit the other one as well. Rounds out. Direct hit on the T-77 for 289. Now she's only using stand ammunition. You can see where the shell landed, just at the base of the turret ring. And so it looks like that guy got rid of his stun very, very quickly to avoid getting damaged, and he's out the game. So Angelina's lining up the next shot, and she got that one onto the Centurion, and another 200 hit points. She stunned him as well. And I think our teammates are actually going to make quick work of that guy. You see again, she hit the turret ring area. It's a yellow mark where the shell landed. And she's seconds away from shooting. Fully dialed in. Rounds out. And he's down. So she's got her first kill in the game. Now you saw me there check the table list, the team list. I think what's actually happened is there was some updates just recently, and it's affecting the team list, so that's why they disappeared. On previous versions of the client, the team list would come up for everyone. Now they don't come up for everyone unless you're using the latest version. Okay, the Porsche 155 just killed the Progetto 54. So she's fired. Lands right next to him for 219, but the Leopard got in there, and the BC is now in grave danger, and he has gone down. Now the good news is that we've actually got quite a few of our teammates still near our cap area, but Angelina's going to make sure that she's able to continue firing by relocating and getting further south. She's the only Arty on her team. And the enemy team, well, they've got a Bat Chat 155-55 as well. Of course, they did make one prototype of this Arty. In reality, it didn't get approved the first time round. Of course, it was 1955, and, well, she's dialed that one in fairly quickly. But she changes targets because she just saw a T-30. It's a tier 10 game with tier 8 tanks, so there are a few that are actually slightly lower tier. The T-30 appeared again. Okay, she can see the Scorpion. Lining up the shot, rounds out. And she got a piece of him. 182, he pulled back fairly quickly. She might have got a lot more of him if he'd stayed down there too long. Now this howitzer can do 680 alpha, 48mm of pin, and a blast radius of 7.6 meters. Between 12.5 and 27 seconds of stun. Her next shot takes out the Scorpion with a direct hit. Relocating again. She's getting much closer to the enemy. But from this position, she's actually going to be able to shoot some of the enemy tanks as they come closer from the northwest corner. We've got no tanks over there at all, which means they're now attacking into our defensive circle. Lines up. That's good. First target seen, Leopard 1. Badly damaged. Going to put a round into him. Rounds out. Well, she picked 198 off that one, and that means that that Leopard is now one shot. Somebody just testing the water just to see if he was still there. They fired around in the previous position he was known to be at, in the hope that they would get a kill. Okay, we're on this corner now, loaded, ready to go. Well, the Leopard just drowned, so I think he went into the water, he backed away, and he went right in, and now he's swimming home. T-30 suddenly appeared. Took a shot and pulled away. You've got the red line there, so there's no shot there, but there is... Oh, now there might be a shot on the Heshbon. Definitely a shot on the G-Saw. Rounds out. Very close. That must have got some damage. Just changing position just slightly. Now, she's not really at threat from this position at the moment. She's got teammates near her who can cover for her if she needs it. But Angelina's just keeping her eye. She's sharp on that sort of thing. Doesn't want to get suddenly caught out. Shells are being exchanged between our defenders. I've noticed the G-Saw tank, by the way, is actually classified as a medium. Whereas, of course, the G-Saw 1008, which is virtually identical, is actually a tank destroyer. Rather curious, that, isn't it? And they've actually given it less speed as well. So it's not a very fast medium tank at that. I can hear rubble, so it sounds like some of the tanks are actually moving around in this area. Seeking a weak spot. There could even be one of the enemy tanks up on top of the iceberg, next to the, of course, connected to the aircraft carrier. She's found the FV4005. Now you can see from this, it does take a little while for the turret to turn around, but the problem is that she's actually in a bad position to try and get shots on him. And she doesn't want to be at the other end of that corridor, so she's backing up. And now the Barask is getting closer as well. Now she can shoot over the rock there. She's getting into a position where she's got something between her and the enemy. And there's the Barask. Here's a one-shot. There's the FV4005. Laser rounded. Oh! That was good. That actually damaged the hull of an FV4005, which, as you know, is a Centurion hull. Centurion Mark III. Now the Barask looks like he's trying to do a flanking maneuver. Meanwhile, we can see they've got a Shure MV7X rounds up. Oh! Well, I think she would have hit him. We're only one behind the enemy at the moment. It's very difficult to attack a force that's in strength, that is defending and covering all angles. You have to find some way of getting round And I think what they might notice, yes, is the perimeter road. That's the way in. There's nobody covering the perimeter road except a Progetto. But we can hit this SU-130PM, and he's got relatively thin armor, which means a direct hit will probably penetrate, and she might get a full roll. Trouble is, he's now gone unspotted again. Angelina covering it at the moment, just in case. He suddenly pops into view. The Baraska's popped into view. And he's very close to our FE4005. Well within the proximity detect. Well, the enemies managed to kill our Striv S1. And that was the T-30 firing, I think, from the center of the map. So the Striv probably, unfortunately, showed himself. I also saw some hit points suddenly appear in the sky there, which tends to make me believe somebody on the enemy team just took a hit. Nothing further back here. And here's the battle going on between the Heshbarn and the Baraska. It looks like the Heshbarn is actually caught in a difficult place here because he's trying to cover two angles. He's worried about the SU-130PM and he's also worried about that Barask. Okay, we can pull back a bit. We can hit the T-30, I think. He's actually come out into the side, yep. So she's getting the turret round and dialing in. Ready. 285. Oh, he's taking more damage. And it's gone. The Progetto got him from that unusual angle. And now the Foch 155 is coming into sight. Now we're focusing towards the other angle, but that Foch 155 suddenly popped out from that corner. We have got a shot, but only if we move forward a bit. That's it, she's done it. She just gave it a bit of a pulse of movement. Dialing in and rounds out. Wipe out! That's Angelina's third kill of the game. Unfortunately, they killed a G-Saw tank, which means now that we're still one behind. And the G-Saw tank is getting very close to the edge of that rock face. Now, the G-Saw goes down. Now we're even. The Barask goes down, taken out by the Heshbarn. Now it's starting to look very juicy. Pull back a bit. You've got the 4005. Oh, she's going to go forward. Try and get him that way. We lose our Heshbarn, but we're still even with the enemy. Got a red line now, and it's 2 minutes still to go. The Heshbarn just took another hit, and this time it's from the Progetto. Or at least maybe the Pantera. Now, the Heshbarn, I think, is probably going to come up that slope. I don't think he knows where we are precisely. Well, I don't think he can work out where we are. But if he was to come up that ridgeline and he got a shell through his turret, it would be the end of him. Gonzalo's in sight. Rounds out. Another direct hit, 263. Here comes the Heshbarn. Angelina's not loaded, so she pulls back into cover. And he's getting the Pantera unloading into him. And he's gone. And now we're one up on the enemy. That defense in depth is working. You can actually see there were circles in the ice from the amount of work that Angelina was doing. We're now into the last minute. The Gonzalo suddenly appeared. There's only 3 enemies left. The Gonzalo's gone. That means the SU-130PM down to the south is the other one. And they're Bat Châtillon 155-55. We haven't got enough time to cap, so it's probably going to end up a draw. But Angelina's gone hunting. Now she won't find the SU-130PM over here, and the Bat Châtillon has just suddenly been located, so she can have a go at him even from here. And the Bat Châtillon is getting struck by the Pantera. He's gone. 10 seconds left. And that's it. Time's out. It's a draw. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second-class tank for Angelina75 OLIMP in the Bat Châtillon 155-55. She managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, she got 11. And she got a Confederate in that one for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on her team, despite the fact that she actually got 3 kills in that game as well. And her win rate was 3,736, which is Super Unicum standard and a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage in the game did go to Angelina. She got 2,902 hit points of damage, but sadly that was not enough to get 20% and get the high caliber. So in this case, it's just she's got the title of the highest damage, and that's all. But she did work very hard for that game. 2,811 hit points went to the Progetto 46. He got a Leather Slaves medal because he was killing tier 9 and tier 10 opponents. And the third highest damage in the game turns out to be the T30 on the enemy team with 2,749 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, the top scorer was that T30. 4 kills went to him. 3 kills went to Angelina, also to the Progetto 46. 2 kills went to the Pantera and to our Heshbon. And on the enemy team, their Heshbon and their Bosch 155 both got 2 kills. When it came to base XP, the top scorer was the Progetto 46. With 821, and again, this is because he was hitting higher tier opponents every time. He was getting 10% extra for every tier 9 that he struck, and 20% extra for every tier 10 that he hit in that game. So 479 is the second highest. That went to Angelina, and 461 went to the 121B on our team, and also to the Barask on the enemy team. Okay, Angelina fired 16 rounds and the battle did last the full time. And, well, it looked for a second as if she might have been able to get a shot at that Bat Chat 155-55 before her teammate in the Pantera got the kill. 7 direct hits, 1 penetrating shot and 13 splash. 2,902 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. So which one did she actually penetrate in this game? Was it the Scorpion? Yes, it was. Thin armor on the Scorpion. That's why the guy pulled back. When the first round hit the Scorpion, he realized, oh my God, there's an Arty shooting in my direction. And he knew that he was thin-skinned and very likely to be taken out of the game if he took a direct hit. He pulled back, but then he engaged the medium tank, which was down there, our medium tank, pulled forward again. And then, of course, went into Angelina's next shell, which wiped him out altogether. So that was a good selection of target. Always look for the tanks which have got very thin armor, because you can actually get good hit points on them if you get a pen. Go back to the detail report, if this thing will let me. Yes, it does. At last, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed. There's the Confederate. And she got 248 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns. The low caliber of the Bat Chat 155-55 makes it prone to getting not a lot of stun assists. So it does help if you're engaging tanks which are actually in confrontation with each other directly, such as those tanks on the corner where the T-77 and the Centurion were engaging our guys. Because if you fire a shell in there and stun them, then more than likely your teammates are going to do the damage for you. But in this case, Angelina actually hit the enemy tanks by smacking them on the turret rings, and that seemed to do the job. On a premium count, Angelina made 33,025 credits from the game, including 16,982 from Holy Ops and 5,184 for Courageous Resistance, because it was a draw and not a win. She also got 25 bonds for a mission achievement and 1,773 experience points out of that one as well. 591 of that to Holy Ops as well. So that would have been a win if only they managed to get that last enemy, the SU-130 PM, who was not found at the end. I think he was probably still on the circular road and was looking for targets of opportunity as they came into sight. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out that way. And if he was trying to kill Angelina, well, he wouldn't have had the chance, because Angelina was off and away the moment that she had the opportunity to leave the cap area and go hunting and try and find out where that Bat Chat was and hit that SU-130 PM from a distance. So does it beat Talon? And unfortunately, the answer is no. Talon's was a first class, a fighter and a bruiser medal, and 3,314. Angelina's was only a second class, and that means that she didn't beat his first class, but she did get a higher win 8, and she got a bruiser and a Confederate out of it. So nice try, very close, but didn't do it on this occasion. And she said, if this had been a win, if it was a win, then I'm pretty certain that Angelina would have had better results, and that would have given her possibly the weekend line. So yeah, she was right there. I think it would have given her the opportunity. She would have got the extra XP, and that might have made a difference. But even so, it was a good battle, a very good battle, and a very good example of how you use the Bat Chat 155-55. You can just find a position where you can move backwards and forwards on the same spot, which really fools the enemy Arty. They can't do counter battery because they don't know where you are. Every time they see the tracer, if they fire at that tracer spot, they'll be firing at empty snow or empty ground because you're not there. You've just moved. And so it really does help to actually park it one place and then turn the turret to one side and then relocate after every shot. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.